Welcome everyone to a casted game for Age of Empires 4! And today, spawning in the north corner of the map, playing in blue, we've got Louis MT, playing as the Jin Dynasty. And up against him today, spawning in the south in red, we've got Aoe4, playing as the Holy Roman Empire. Welcome everyone to Dry Arabia. And as always, hope you guys are having a great morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It's absolutely fantastic to have you guys along with me for the ride, checking out the new civilization, the Jin Dynasty. Of course, they are based upon the base faction of the Chinese, but I've got a lot of things that are different about them, that is for sure. Obviously, you can see something a little bit funky, a little bit different. The mounted villager. It's a villager, very expensive by the way. 65 food, 50 gold, takes 35 seconds to train. Compare that to the regular villager. 50 food, no gold, and 20 seconds to train. But obviously, with such high costs come some pretty big benefits. In particular, the gather rate is absolutely phenomenal, and also they can produce things, build things very fast as well. I think the big thing about this unit that I really like, and it's really powerful, is that of course, yeah, it gathers fast, sure, but when you go out onto deer camps like this or exposed areas, it's very hard to raid because these guys can run away pretty darn fast. Of course, they've got the extra movement speed, right? So there you go. Now, there is one caveat. You can only actually make up to 20 of them. I believe there's an upgrade later on that allows you to extend that a little bit more. But yeah, you are capped at 20. And that's, yeah, essentially, I guess it makes sense because otherwise it feels like you could never really kill them, the economy, because these guys, they just move so fast. Either way, on the other side of things, talking about economy, got the Holy Roman Empire. We are no strangers to this civilization. The prelate buffering up these villages by up to 40, or 35% rather, actually. Used to be 40, would you believe? But yeah, 35% at the moment. And I'm kind of curious because the Jin Dynasty, I've had a look through what they do, what they can target in terms of strategy-wise. Oh, there's a bit of an issue here. The scout, hello. Oh, gonna get the mounted villager back in. Nope, should be able to escape there. Pretty unlucky. I mean, it's one of those things though, right? When you go to the deer camp and further afield for resources, you can't snipe out the scout if it runs too close for comfort. But, well, you're not really expecting that to happen, I guess. In any case, yeah, these two civilizations do have a possibility of playing quite heavy castle age play, like go for relics. Perhaps we will see that from the Jin Dynasty. We'll have to see. And obviously, a lot of this comes down to the landmarks you can choose, of which, by the way, we have absolutely brand new landmarks. We've got the Flower Pagoda, which grants the ability to plant a flower garden, which improves the gather rate of villagers and attack speed of non-siege military units, and also spawns 3 grassland posts. Now, that's a unique mechanic, because you can actually build grassland posts, grasslands, but you've got to build them on the grassland posts. And what these do, they spawn horses, and you can use the horses to reduce the cost of your cavalry. But the other option for getting to the next stage is actually the Great Pasture, which is what Louis MT has decided to go for. Now this acts as a war stable and a grassland all in one. And the reason why that's so good is because, well, you got a stable, but then you also got the cheaper production, courtesy of the grassland. You can see that influence there. Use a horse from the grassland to instantly train cavalry with a 25 resource discount. Nice way to get some units nice and early on the field. In fact, do you know what's really interesting? The Holy Roman Empire today looks like they're going for a second town centre. It's not often we see this, but it can be a really strong play because one thing you have to bear in mind, the Holy Roman Empire has access to emergency repairs. And so going up against HRA in this sort of fashion makes it difficult. If you're going to play a heavy feudal age against it, well, you try and take out the second TC, and the second TC is relatively weak. But when you factor in emergency repairs, it's just so hard to do significant damage to the HRE with that, with that bonus. So I'm kind of curious to see if Louis is thinking about maybe Castle Age. It looks like it indeed. With this number of villagers on gold, it's got to be, especially with only one villager building the Great Pasture. Yeah, taking some time to get there. But it is what it is. Now, I would like to say, by the way, a very big thank you for everyone who's been supporting the channel. Thank you. Especially to the YouTube channel members and the Twitch subscribers. Going the extra mile. I know I haven't been posting recently. I've been a bit busy, a bit unwell as well. You can probably hear it in the voice, but I've been working on some other projects as well. Now, Age of Empires 4 has always been a bit of a passion project for mine, but it's never really I find it difficult to justify committing heavily. And when you've got life commitments and things, monetarily, ideally, it's not really the most sustainable. I just do it as a passion project mostly. But yeah, it's very enjoyable. And of course, we come back for the new DLC. Got new civilizations to tinker around with and play with and try and understand. But yeah, I've been working on some other projects. In particular, I've got another YouTube channel as it happens. It's called Dawn of War Central, because there are other RTS games, of course, other than Age of Empires, and one of them being Dawn of War 4, going to be coming out relatively soon, hopefully. And yeah, I've been enjoying making content from that. It's the Warhammer series, and yeah, I've been getting into Warhammer recently, pretty recently, and it's a good time. So yeah, if you guys are interested in Dawn of War, maybe check that out as well. But obviously, with this channel in particular, we're sticking with absolutely everything to do with Age of Empires 4. And by the way, if you do like what you see of the Jin Dynasty so far, but you want to learn a bit more about them, I probably will already have posted a good, well, I wouldn't say deep dive, but yeah, a general overview faction guide, I guess, about all the things that the Jin Dynasty can do. So certainly worth checking that out if you are interested and haven't already seen it. Now, early farms coming out here for the HRE. Yeah, relatively passive opening for both players, but you can see the Castle Age play coming in now for Louis MT, and the Mountain Hall is a choice. Interesting one. We'll take a quick sneak peek at the other option, by the way. It was the Dragon Pavilion, which actually grants a free Manjan Mukit emplacement to all the town centers, and it comes with an emplacement itself. Now, what this does is it's effectively a defensive landmark. It's quite nice to have that emplacement. What that emplacement is, by the way, you actually have units spawn whenever your enemy... and whenever your enemy comes in the range of it, the units pop out and start to fight. It's pretty cool. And also you mentioned, well, I didn't say you mentioned, I didn't mention, I should have mentioned emissaries. So emissaries is another kind of unique thing with the Jin Dynasty. It's a unit you can make in the Castle Age, and it's a support unit. It's got two abilities. One where you can get, basically go up to one of the trade posts, and you can, well, kind of sort of upgrade it. It's pretty cool. You can make tributaries. What that is, it spawns farms and gives you tributary peasants as well to work on the farms. So it's quite a nice sort of transition for food, but it's obviously very well, yeah, it's very exposed. Not very well protected, shall I say. But the option he did go for was the Mountain Hall, which is kind of gives you the Regnitz Cathedral kind of vibe. It does have a lot of bonuses. Villagers gather from farms 75% faster. Pretty epic. But also, the thing is, relics, right? 300% more gold for the relics you collect. It's pretty hefty. Now, with Ayami Satu, getting a couple of spearmen out, looking to try and maybe deny the capturing of those relics as best as he can. Probably a good idea. Don't want to leave the Jin Dynasty to pick up all of the relics, especially with that 300% bonus. Double barracks and archery range. Looks to be a heavy sort of infantry focus here from the HREs. What they do best, really, to be honest. Oh, and by the way, this is the grassland post, you can see. So whenever you build a landmark, these can pop up, and then you can build the grasslands on top of it. Pretty cool new mechanic. Oh, this is kind of cool to see as well. The Mohawk Tribesman is a feudal age horseman. Now, you can actually make this in feudal age, by the way. And what's kind of cool is that the Jin Dynasty don't actually have an archery range. Would you believe? So this is actually made from a stable, the Mohawk Tribesman. And instead of having an archery range, what they actually have is something called the Machine Workshop. It produces ranged infantry and siege engines, of which there are a few new ones, by the way, because we've got the Bed Crossbowman. It's like a double Springald. It doesn't have to set up, but it can shoot 2 Springald fires. It's pretty cool. I love the music, by the way. It's so good for the Jin Dynasty. A little bit earlier as well in the music. It almost sounded like Lord of the Rings. Maybe we'll hear it a bit later, but it sounded almost like a little bit like Lord of the Rings and the Shire, but obviously we're far from the Shire today. This economy is absolutely buzzing, though. Look at Ayami Sato's villager count. 43 to 19. Obviously because of the mounted villager aspect side of things, but double TC obviously playing into that as well. And the kind of concern for Louis is that he's got to really pick up these relics, It's kind of the whole point of his strategy going fast castle here. He's picked up 1 so far. Not a bad start, but he needs more. But Ayami Sato getting so many units on the field, it's making it tricky for Louis to pick them up. We've got the Iron Pagoda, which, by the way, can be made in the Feudal Age, but is upgraded to the Veteran Castle Age version. It's kind of like a knight, I guess, in many ways. It's pretty cool. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's been upgraded. The trade post with the tributary. You can see this little structure here. Tributary state. Going to be making those peasants and making the farms. Yeah, this is where it becomes tricky for Louis because you can't really do too much damage to the base. He just needs to fight on the map for the relics. And I don't think it's going to be too far for Aoe4 for going for that castle age. The question is what does go with? I mean, it's probably got to be the Burgrave because at this point where a lot of the relics have been picked up. Like there's one deposited already, another one on the way. I don't really know if you can justify Regnant's Cathedral. I mean, maybe if you at least get one relic, but feels like the Burgrave will give him a lot more power because of the fact that he's got a great economy behind this. He can just really start to escalate military production. So fully expecting to see the Burgrave, but you know, we've been surprised sometimes. But yeah, there's 3 relics here picked up. I mean, you probably get this one in the end here, Aoe4. Yeah, it will be the Burgrave. Putting it in the forward position as well. So probably expecting, yeah, so units to flood out before too long. Look at the food income though, pretty spectacular here for the HRE. The farm transition is well underway. Oh, as I say that though, this might be a bit sneaky here. Louis might pick this relic up. Yeah, we'll see if he should be able to pick that up. In any case, it seems like a bit of a quiet moment in the game, so if you have been enjoying the Jin Dynasty, let me know what you think you've enjoyed watching so far. There's a couple of things we've seen so far already, like the Mounted Villager, the Veteran Pagoda, the Moho Tribesman, the Tributaries, you know, new landmarks, the grasslands. The list goes on and on. Pretty spectacular. It looks like he's getting some stone here as well, Louis. Probably expecting a second town centre. Oh, he's already got a second town centre. On a really nice spot on the boar and the deer. And that food should come in really fast, by the way. Especially if he gets this on top. Oh, he's going to sneak out with that relic. Nicely done. Also getting the sacred sites. I mean, I wonder whether a sacred site victory could be on the cards here as an option. Because the HRE kind of limited at the moment to infantry, which is quite slow, hard to mobilize across the map. But I've got to say, one thing that's a bit worrying for Louis is the villager difference. Holy smokes, 62 to 26. I mean, granted, he's got plenty of gold coming in from the relics, but yeah, I don't know if that's enough. We'll have to see. But the third town centre will help with that, of course. Certainly for the long game, though, having the relics is going to be very, very powerful. Man at Arms, 90 food, 20 gold, but look how fast they come out. I wouldn't be surprised to see a whole bunch of units moving across the map before too long. We're talking about sacred sites. Well, he's decapping him. Aoe4 here on the right side. And on the left. Yeah, it's going to be difficult here for Louis because he's scaling his economy, but it's going to take some time. Yeah, he must have got the upgrade. There we go. There's an extra 3 villagers he's got, mounted villagers, rather than the 20. Now got 23. Some really cool upgrades, I've got to say. Especially this one. I'm going to get extra wood because of it. The unit number's starting to get scary though. 34 on the field. Where's this relic going? Oh, go for a forward monastery. This is interesting, yeah, because... Okay, so this is where it gets kind of cool because they actually have a karma system where if you get... Yeah, basically anyone gathering resources gets karma. Now the question is, what does karma actually do? That's the big question, actually. Does it actually say on the tooltip? I don't think I've really read too much about that in this situation. Ah, here we go. At max karma, receive the blessing of the 4 heavenly kings for 60 seconds. Okay. Well, question is, what does that do? I wonder if we'll see them. That's an interesting mechanic, I've got to say. We need to find out what the those kings do. It doesn't say here, actually. Alright, we're going to have to take a look at that at some point. Right, it's going to move forward now. Man at Arms and Archers up against veteran Iron Pagodas. Now, the thing about HRE infantry, these guys are so good. And they can even do decently well against heavily armored units. When they've got the two-handed swordsman upgrade. They can be really powerful, difficult to deal with. I don't know if Louis really got the right army here, because he's also got the Moha tribesmen, which the archers can do well against. I mean, when I say man-at-arms against Iron Pagodas probably should win, but considering how cheap these man-at-arms are for, for the HRE, I mean, it means they could trade really well, right? If he just takes a good fight, he can make them cheaper. He's got a stronger economy anyway. It's where it gets exciting, because the HRE have built such a strong economy behind all of this. He can start taking fights, and as long as he's trading well, thins down the numbers of the Jin Dynasty, then he's always going to be pushing further ahead, it almost seems like, right? But yeah, I mean, the man-at-arms are starting to melt, so yeah, not much of a front line remaining. These archers probably will get swept up in the end, and the Iron Pagodas deal the damage they need to do to secure the lands. So Ayami Sato is going to have to back away now. But behind this is all about sort of a buying time exercise for Louis, right? He's got 3 town centres. He's happy. He's doing alright. Tell you who's also probably happy. It's Ayami Sato with how many farmers he's got. That food income is going to skyrocket very, very soon. And this is a position, it's a little bit exposed. Could be tricky to defend. Now, this is the Menjan Muka emplacement, by the way. It's a pretty cool thing. You get units spawning out when they get in the range. It doesn't have it on the outpost, though, I'm afraid. And so now it looks like actually Ayami Sato going to challenge this area. And this is an issue because there's 2 relics here. This is a high-stakes area. Bear in mind, the 300% bonus he gets on the relic income here, Louis. He won't want to lose these 2 relics. He might not, though. With this number of Iron Pagodas, he probably should be okay. He's not wanting to engage fully, though. I think there are a couple of crossbows added into the mix. I love that addition there by Ayami. Of course, designed to counter the Iron Pagodas. He's taking the fight now. There's a good number of spearmen adding to the mix as well. I do not feel confident about this for Louis. He has to back away. When you combine the spears and the crossbows, Iron Pagodas are always going to struggle. And struggle he is. Although he's not fighting altogether. I mean, there's a couple of units here left behind. And because of that, maybe Louis might want to trade, but there's enough there to push him away. Yeah, the unit numbers starting to escalate. The trouble for Louis is that he can't really afford to lose these units. They're very expensive, and he doesn't have many units to deal with in the first place. So if he loses them, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. That pressure slowly building as you see the trickling of red units across the map. Ayami Sato is starting to get a good foothold in the game. I'm surprised to see him not go for the sacred sites, though. That could be a nice follow-up here. Just to add that possible win condition into the mix. Coming around the back and looking to get some of the reinforcements. Should be a nice pick-off. Yeah, a couple of crossbows will go down to the Iron Pagodas. But he can't engage fully. And he takes out the monastery. And he's picking up the relics. He's going to grab them back home. Bit of a smash and grab. Couple of Iron Pagodas go down. Very weak. Look how low health they are. Holy smokes. He needs to get out of there. Oh, went for a tributary here as well, which... Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no, Louis. He gets out, but he loses 5 Iron Pagodas. That was a huge engagement. Definitely favouring the Holy Roman Empire. Oh, he's losing even more Iron Pagodas. Not looking good for Louis. He's got to find a way to stabilise. He lost the second town center. He does still have 2, though. He's going to protect himself with the nest of bees, defending with that. That'll be helpful, actually. There's a lot of infantry on the field here for Louis. For Ayami, rather. The nest of bees will help, no doubt. He's going to get a bit of a raid, but he's got to be careful not to lose these units, right? Sure, if he kills villagers, it'll be helpful. But if he does lose critical mass of units, he's going to be caught under pressure. He's got to get out of that with the Wallalo coming on in. Does get out of there. Big fight here in the northeast as well. But it's a fight that, well, Louis should win. That's the thing about infantry units and infantry armies. Once you're caught, you're caught. You can't really escape easily. That's kind of what's happening here, but that's a good number of spearmen. Yeah, you do. Oh, Louis, get out of there. Get out of there. Too many spearmen. He loses the biggest chunk of the cavalry, though, before he realizes. And now, Ayame, he can consolidate. They're pushing forward down the middle, most likely. And Iron Pagoda going down there. Oh, alright. He's going to go for the machine workshop, potentially. He's going to dive on in. Spearman going against the Iron Pagodas. Nesta Bees firing off on the spears. Oh, the Nesta Bees should go down. The spears are peeled off to try and take it down. I think it does. Yeah, there's no fighting here for Louis to protect that, really. He does get another good volley off of the Nesta Bees on the spears, which will help. But he's just diving in, and at some point, Louis's got to find a way to deal with this. He does have defender's advantage, so that might just come in his favour. There's a lot of spearmen still in this. A big chunk of his economy is idled, by the way. That's probably all that Ayame Sato really wants to achieve out of this. It's not a death push, it's not going to be the end of the game, but it's helping him eke out a further lead. Slowly but surely. Because now Louis is down to 11 military. Yeah, I would love to see Ayame get those sacred sites, though. Because it doesn't feel like Louis is going to be able to get out of this position for a while. And once he's been able to fight this army, if he does, it's going to take him time to build up a force to even move on the map. Well, this is not looking good. Now, eventually this will be pushed away. It's got a decent number of tribesmen. Got the Nesta Bees, of course. And the reinforcements, they're just taking too long to get on the field. On the front lines. A bit too far away, that Burgrave Palace, but he might need to build some forward production. Would certainly be helpful. Oh, a lot of idle villagers there. The economy is looking okay-ish for Louis. Not quite as much food as he would like. Not a great amount of farming. This is great, but he's exposed, and I wonder whether the HRE will focus that. He's going to go for the one on the east side first. Look at the farming here for him. Holy smokes. Definitely well set up for the late game. Yeah, there's no way that this stays alive here for Louis. He has to give it up. Good thing is, it buys him some time. Start to move to the phase of the match where you start thinking about the central golds. 2 big gold veins on the right side of the map. So I suspect there's going to be a lot of pressure on the right side to gain access to that. Now the tributary state can be destroyed. Well, there's the Menjian Muka defenders, but it's just going to buy a little bit of time. They're not going to survive this. Go for a bit of a counter raid with the Moho tribesmen. Would like to see some walls out for Ayame, actually, because that can really start to narrow the angles of attack for Louis, but he's not committed to the walls just yet. But considering he's got static defences, he should be okay. Good chunk of outposts. It's got a spring replacement. And that one might lose a couple of villagers, but it won't be the end of the world. Probably ignores it. Moves out with the infantry forward. Try and do some more damage. He's got so many units. 89. Now he's struggling on gold here a little bit, Ayame. I wonder whether he's thinking about the Imperial Age. He's got food for it, but not enough gold. Spears get a good wraparound. Tribesmen need to back out. I mean, they'll get a couple more villager kills maybe, but nothing to really do significant damage. There are the villagers on gold to maybe try and get to that Imperial Age. Maybe a market, sell some food could be an option for him. What isn't an option for Louis at the moment is to ignore this, because this could start to make its way back into the middle of the base. He does have some defences at home. I love the keep placement. Sneaking that up to get access to the gold. Nicely done. Certainly very important. Torches are out. Question is, I mean, Ayame doesn't really have enough to deal with this. Yeah, this will be held by Louis, which is nice. The raiding has pretty much stopped, but the keeping the right side has gone up, and that's going to give Louis extra access to gold, which he kind of needs. 3 Nesta Bees is more than enough to deal with that. That backline has got to be very careful. It's going to go down very quickly. Man-at-Arms tanking pretty well. There's another group on the west side of the fight, though. Actually, this is not looking terrible for Ayame. this extra group of units, crossbows, are doing really good work. I mean, actually, you know what? Louis got to be careful. He might lose an STB. He will lose one. But he will now fight this off. I love the addition of the sorry, not red, but the bed crossbowman. It's essentially really good anti-infantry unit. It fires bolts of multiple... it can pierce multiple units. So a group of these could be really powerful. Also, they don't need to set up. They just start firing. Which is nice to see. Question is, can he mass them up quick enough? Because he's going to need more than 3. The Imperial Age did come in, by the way, with the Elsbach Palace for Ayame. Gives them security of that gold. Very nice position for it. Gives them security on a big, big gold vein. I wonder whether Ayame decides he needs to go on the right side now, because that's something he needs to deal with. Cut off that gold income. That's probably a big part of why Louis is still in the game. The food income unmatched between the two players. As is the gold, to be fair, in many ways. But this is probably just keeping things ticking for Louis. Yeah, it's difficult for Ayame to get across the map in multiple locations, right? He's keeping an outpost here to keep vision on the trade post. Going on the west side now. Difficult to split up his army. And pretty risky to do so as well. Now, food is heavily being invested into here with the farms on the west side. Good thing he's got the walls, actually, because this could be another focus for some aggression from Ayame. Runs into the Elsbach. Less than ideal. Loses a good few number of units there, actually. Alright, this tributary state not going to last for much longer. Does give a bit of a hit on the food income, but he's got farms at least to rely on this time round. But I would love to see Sacred Site. Yeah, there it is, being captured now. And it's going to be the Great Wall Bastion. So Louis will get to the Imperial Age, but he's so far behind when you consider the upgrades have been coming in thick and fast for the Holy Roman Empire. Well, actually, I mean, it's got the Imperial Age ones here. It's got the Spearman ones. But the Horseman is going to be coming up soon. Elite Horseman. Well, he's definitely got advantage in timings, of course. And I think the trouble for Louis is that he won't want to lose his army before they upgrade, and that he doesn't really have much army. So where it becomes tricky, because the Great Wall Bastion will be a nice landmark to have for us, a bit of protection. It's effectively a keep, right? Which is kind of cool. The other option would have been the Pagoda Forest. Unfortunately, we couldn't see too much about what that was in today's cast, but yeah, I'm sure we'll come across that at some point. That's a lot of siege engines, which I think actually Louis got a good stronghold position here to defend with. I don't think Ayame is going to make too much progression here. He's going to commit to it though. Get some value, kill some villagers, why not? He's actually doing a decent amount of damage on this wood line. There's a bit of a problem here. He loses a lot of army, but he kills a lot of villagers. In fact, he's killed 50 so far in the entire game. Horseman coming on the right side for Ayame. Going to get some more raiding. Doing a great job of it. So Louis did get to the Imperial Age, but he's losing villagers, and he needs a bit of time to get the Imperial Age upgrades. But look at the trickling of units here from the Burgrave Palace. Of course, making cheaper units, making these fights a lot more cost effective. And not only did he lose villagers, but there are some idled ones as well. Probably going to need to back out of this side here, though. He's to find a way to deal with the siege, maybe. Not entirely sure how he'll manage it. He's got to find a way. Behind all of this, Sacred Site Timer has been activated. About a decent amount of stone. I think he's thinking about a keep potentially here, Ayame, for the Sacred Sites at least. They're continuing raiding right down the middle. Going to get rid of the machine workshop. Still, this bit of gold income is so important for Louis. It's not something that I think Ayame knows about. I'm going to go for the Emissary. By the way, the two abilities of the Emissary, they establish the tributary, but also can bribe enemy units. Kind of wild. But yeah, this is a problem here for Louis, no doubt about it. He's completely idle down the middle. He's under so much pressure, losing farms, and I like this play here. He's keeping army engaged, but it's also taking out farms. It's expensive to replace. He's got a bit of wood in the bank, but it all hurts the economy. Might look to decap the central sacred site, but I don't think Ayame matters. I don't think he minds that too much, because he's doing so much damage on the front lines. The army numbers looking really healthy. Can Continues to kill villagers on the right side. Oh, he's going to go for a keep. That's going to be for a rude awakening there, though, because there's already a keep there for Louis. Ayame, recognizing gold income, is exactly what he needs to cut off. Speaking of cutting off, Siege here going to cut off the progression for Ayame. Does lose the Sacred Site in the middle, so that win condition not there for now. Oh, the villagers. Oh, he spots it with the horseman. Might be lucky enough if he spots us quick enough. He does spot it quick enough. I was going to place a keep here. That'll range these villagers. Yeah, Louis under all sorts of trouble now. If he doesn't have access to gold, he will be in all sorts of trouble. Trying to get this outpost up. The spring replacement probably will actually push this away, crazily enough. Around the back, a bit of raiding, but I mean, this is precious units that Louis can't afford to lose, but he will lose them. I don't know if he'll do enough damage with them. Once this keep goes up, the big question you have is, where does Louis MT get gold from? Without gold, he can't make too much. Look at the town centre, looks pretty spectacular. Yeah, gold is going to be an issue. Almost at the 32-minute mark, and Yamasato will deal with the spearman, and then we'll be able to focus on the forward positions. Keep goes up. Louis, he may not spot this. I hope he does, otherwise he's going to lose a lot of villagers. Oh no. Oh god. Oh, there it is. GG gets called. Gold income will be going down very quickly, and that means he quickly taps out, because there probably is no way back in the game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. But more importantly, if you want to see a breakdown of the Jin Dynasty, I'll leave a link card on your screen right now. Click on it. It gives you a good rough 8-minute guide to the civilization, everything it can do, the best bits about it. I'll see you guys over there.